I just wanted to see me, somebody who was really like dealing with it, tell their story authentically. My story no longer was like necessarily my story. My story was a lot of people's story. Well, hi, my name is Trinity K. My given name is Joshua Jones. My pronouns are he and him, they and she, it and what. I'm a former contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. I also had a residency at the Flamingo Hotel with RuPaul's Drag Race Live. Oh God, what else? I've never came out, I've always been out. We've always knew. My mom has pictures of me as a kid, like in her heels and purses and stuff, and she thought it was funny. I've only ever had one girlfriend, and I was like 4th and 5th grade. And she was like a lesbian too, but we were like really close friends. So it was like, we're just gonna mask each other. And then everything after that was just being me. My mom is bisexual, so there was a spell from like 11 on up to where she started dating women. And that kind of opened that door and made it a lot easier to be fluently myself. My first boyfriend was at like 13. And then after like mom came out and I got introduced to drag because there was like this local flea market pageant that they would have. And they had drag queens there. And immediately it clicked. I was like, oh, I could do this. So I would have parties and stuff at my house and I would perform and dress up. My mom would, buy me pretty much whatever I asked for. If I wanted makeup or, stuff like that to learn how to do the art form, she supplied it for me. So she was a great deal of support for me. And it made it a lot easier to be as good as I am today because I started so early and the rest has been history. I found out it was 2012. I went to a ball and it was like, oh, if you get tested, you get free admission. I was like, oh, that's $30 I could save, okay. So I got tested and later on throughout the ball, the guy brought me back in the back and he was like, I just want to tell you that you were positive. And I was like, okay. And he was like, are you okay? I said, yeah, I feel okay. And same situation with my mom. Everybody was like, are you all right? I was like, I said, I'm fine, damn. By the grace of God, since I have been positive, I have never really felt the extreme effects of dealing with or living with HIV. Now, there's been times, like any human, you fall off or go through a depression, don't really want to be bothered, but I've never really allowed it to affect me mentally. If I don't have strength for myself, how can I expect other people to have strength for me? So in 2013, I was on RuPaul's Drag Race and I decided to disclose my HIV status. Telling my story for me was necessary, mostly honestly because there wasn't a lot of representation for Black men on television, talking about something that is so stigmatized and so running so rampant within our own community. There was no black men other than Magic Johnson who had came out publicly about their status. My journey became bigger than me. I started off doing this, just doing drag, and the drag found something else that was more important. I think the most important thing for anybody who's dealing with HIV or who may have been newly diagnosed is once you have gone through that hurdle of beating yourself up or questioning yourself or whatever the case may be, get on your treatment and move on with your day-to-day life. Life doesn't really stop when you live with HIV. You go through all the same trials and tribulations, you have all the same issues, and you kind of gotta just throw that in the bag too and keep it moving. I would not let the HIV take me out. I promise you it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something weird.